And so, here we are. This is Gothic 1, my probably the favourite RPG game from the 90s. I could replay this game over and over again every year and not get bored of it. In fact, I've replayed it not too long ago, like no longer than half a year ago, and I'm already playing it again now because I just enjoy it so much. So, before we start, let's get a few things mentioned. I've added a few mods to this, so a few graphical aspects should look a bit better than vanilla. So I've added better facial heads and stuff for main characters, and a mod that improves some texture qualities. I've also had to apply the community patch, whatever, to be able to play this in high definition. But anyways, without further ado, let's start the new game.
The kingdom of Murtana, united by King Robar II.
Come on then. There we go.
During the long years of his reign, he was able to defeat all foes of his realm.
All foes.
All except one.
So we got a massive tyrant, it would seem. Yeah, this whole affair is quite usual fantasy setup, you know, humans fighting orcs, etc., etc.
The war against the orcs took its toll, and the prisoners of the realm were to pay the price.
But the story is actually pretty good in this game, I think.
The king needed swords for his army, and every man guilty of a crime, no matter how insignificant, was forced to work in the ore mines of Corinus.
A bit extreme, isn't it?
To make it impossible for them to escape, the king sent out the best magicians of the kingdom to create a magic barrier around the entire valley. I was one of them.
Even more extreme.
Something disturbed the delicate structure of magic. We were trapped inside our own barrier.
Ha! Sucks to be you, loser.
1 second of negligence was enough for the prison.
Here is the thing, right? Who would actually agree?
Was now under the control of the convicts.
Like the security staff, who would actually agree to take this job?
The king had no choice. He had to negotiate. He needed the ore. Month after month, the king supplied everything the prisoners needed. Month after month, they brought the ore to the edge of the barrier in exchange. Until the present day. Another convict was brought to the cliff. He did not know, but he would change everything.
In the name of King Robar II, bearer of the scepter of Verant, I sentence this convict to...
Stop. Convict. I've got an offer to make you. This letter must reach the leader of the magicians of...
The voice acting is...
You're wasting your time.
You may choose your own reward.
How does that voice fit that face?
Very well.
Look at that smile.
I'll take your letter. On one condition. Spare me the rest of his nonsense.
How dare you?
Keep silent. Right. Send him in.
So, you gave him a letter to deliver, and then you pushed him into a body of water. Smart move.
Welcome to the colony.
That dickhead.
Leave him alone. And now scram. Get up.
So this is Diego.
I'm Diego. I'm not interested in who you are.
Rude.
You've just arrived. I look after the new arrivals. That's all for now. If you plan to stay alive for a while, you should talk to me. But of course, I won't keep you from choosing your own destruction. Well, what do you think?
Yeah, alright.
Okay, what do I need to know about this place?
We call it the colony. You'll know already that we produce ore for the king. Well, at least we do, in the old camp. There are 3 camps within the barrier. The old camp is the biggest, and it was the first.
How do I get to the old camp?
You just follow this path. The old camp is the next reasonably safe-looking place you'll come across. there are a lot of wild beasts between the camps. You'd be mad to walk around without a weapon.
Okay, so,
Where do I get a weapon?
When you get to the old mine, have a look around. I'm sure you'll find something useful. The mine is easy to find. It's just a few meters along the canyon.
okay, good. Let's say that I have the letter.
I have a letter for the High Magician of the Circle of Fire.
Really?
I was given it by a mage shortly before they threw me in here.
You're lucky I can't afford to show my face around the mages anymore. Anyone else would gladly slit your throat for that letter. That's because the mages pay their couriers a lot, and most people here don't have anything. If I were you, I'd shut up until I met one of the mages. Although in your situation, that's not likely to happen.
Why not?
The mages are in the castle in the old camp. Only Gomez's people are allowed to enter the castle.
Of course.
Who's Gomez?
Gomez is the most powerful ore baron. He's the boss of the old camp, the most powerful man in the colony.
Let's assume I want to join his people. What do I need to do?
At the gate of the castle, you'll find a man called Thoris. Tell him Diego sent you.
So, it doesn't make any sense, does it? This whole letter delivery thing. One, if you had an important letter to deliver to the colony, and you were just sending a massive cargo down to the ore baron, why would you not include that letter in the convoy just to make sure that, you know, obviously this massive cargo, the delivery of cargo is going to get some security that'll take you to the castle. So why won't you just like include that letter in that cargo? Why would you give it to some random nobody who can quite easily die on the way to the castle, and then is going to have to run errands to actually get to the guy who is meant to get the letter? It just doesn't make any sense. It just all the things you would do to delay the delivery of that letter were in place here, and also like they threw him in the water with a parchment with a letter. How does that make any sense? Obviously, the letter would get like destroyed in the water. So yeah, a few things that don't really make sense here. Piranha Bytes.
Why did you help me?
Because you needed help. Otherwise, Bullet and his boys might have killed you. And I couldn't just stand by and watch, because I came all this way to make a suggestion.
A suggestion?
Yes. After this little incident with Bullet and his guys, you should be aware now that you need protection. Everyone who arrives here has a choice. There are 3 camps in the colony, and you'll have to join one of them. I'm here to show the new ones that the old camp is the best place for them.
Okay.
Where's Bullet now?
He and the others bring the goods from the outside world into the camp. You'll find him there, but if you plan to fight him, be careful. He's an experienced warrior.
So obviously,
Thanks for your help.
We'll meet in the old camp.
okay, welcome to the colony. So obviously, Bullet is the guy who punched us in the face when we fell into the water, and this little thing was so effective to me as a child when I was playing this for the first time, because to me that guy was like the nemesis of that game. You're like, I need to get to the point, I need to be strong enough to actually find him and kick his ass. That was just so special to me then. And Bullet isn't even like a big character in this game really, other than like this thing that just happened here. Later on he's just quite insignificant really. You just find him and you can kick his ass, but not much comes out of it really. That's what it is. Okay, I'm gonna explain the controls a little bit of Gothic 1. So you move forward with the arrow forward, and then like backwards with the down arrow, and then left and right obviously. I don't really use a mouse for this because I find it just sufficient enough to play it with just the keyboard. So here we have a torch, and to pick it up we have to press control and then forward to aim and then pick it up. This is a control scheme that a lot of people don't really like, but I reckon it makes sense. I quite like it, and it's just much easier to play with your keyboard alone. In fact, last time I played this game, I played on a laptop, and yeah, I finished it with just using the keyboard. Like there was, you know, because using the touchpad on laptop isn't that comfortable. So yeah, it worked really well. I enjoyed it. So here I have a torch. You use your equipment as you pick it up, etc. So control and then forward if you want to use it. And here is a thing that's amazing about this game, right? So I have a torch, and here is this like little light here that's not being lit. But with my torch, I can actually light it up. And if it was dark, this would actually provide light to the area. And considering how old this game is, this is actually amazing, this little detail. You know, this game came out in like the 90s, like late 90s, and you had this stuff happening. Amazing. Okay, so I believe there is... I'm going to drop the torch because I don't need it. There we go. I'm going to pick the ore nugget here and the beer because I'm going to need it soon enough. Also, if we go this way a little bit, we should get this blue glow. There we go. That's the barrier telling us that if you go forward in that direction, you're gonna die. So this is your sign to move back. If you cross the barrier, you're gonna die. That's what happens. Okay, so I'm gonna create a quick save file. So save game. I've already made some saves because I was trying to record this video yesterday actually, but my voice was much worse than it is today. So it didn't turn out very well. So I'm redoing the video from yesterday basically. So quick save is my save where I'm going to be able to save the game very quickly. And then obviously save number 1, Road to the Old Camp, is going to be sort of the main save for this episode in a way. So we're going to proceed down this way towards the mines as Diego told us. But there are some guards here, so I'm going to climb up on this ladder. You climb the ladder the same way as you use and pick up items, so control and forward. And we have Ori over here, so let's talk to Ori. We're standing a bit close to him.
What are you doing here?
Making sure no one gets near the exchange place, especially one of those cutthroats from the new camp. You're the new guy they chucked in today, right?
That's me.
Then you'd better watch out for the guys from the new camp. I work for the old camp, same as the others you saw at the exchange place. I assume you've talked to Diego.
So as you can tell, the old camp and the new camp don't really get along very well because they got different sort of view on what life should be like in the colony. Old camp is very happy with trading with the king, and the new camp wants to gather as much ore themselves to be able to explode it and then sort of destroy the barrier. So you can tell that these two arrangements are not very working together very well, because one of the people are very happy with giving the ore to the king and the other ones want to keep it. So yeah, there is a struggle, there's a conflict of interest. Anyways, back to the question. Yes, we have spoken to Diego.
Yes, I have.
Good. Then you know what's what around here.
Yes, I do. Okay, so you mentioned that all the people that I've met so far would be good people because they're from the old camp. However,
when I was washed ashore, one of the guys punched me in the face.
They do that to all the newcomers. They call it standing godfather.
Oh, are all the guys like that in the old camp?
We do have a few suckers, but they won't touch you as long as you pay them protection money.
yeah, so they do extort people, like the higher, like the guards and stuff in the old camp extort newcomers for protection.
I saw a woman being sent down with the goods.
Yeah, the ore barons get everything they want.
Do you mean to say the king exchanges women for ore?
They're convicted criminals too, of course. But if Gomez hadn't asked for them, they'd be sitting in some dungeon or other. I'm not sure what's worse.
Yeah, I guess if you're gonna live in the old camp as a wife to the ore baron, you're not gonna have a shitty life, really, are you? So I guess it's alright. Okay.
Why do I have to watch out for the guys from the new camp?
Compared to the new camp, the old camp's a quiet, peaceful sort of place. The new camp doesn't get any deliveries from the outside world. Most of the rogues there just steal whatever they need.
Okay. I've already explained the differences between...
You'd better make sure you reach the old camp in one piece.
Yeah, I've already explained the differences between the old camp and the new camp, so there's no point going in detail with Ori about that. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so I'm gonna save the game here, and we will look at the letter. Letter to the Magicians of Fire. The seal must not be opened. So if you open that letter, obviously we're gonna get told off by somebody later on in the game. But because I've saved the game, we can read it now and then reload just to see what's happening. What's the concern? Venerable Master, your last missive was received with great anxiety. We have conferred upon the matter and are sending you our reply in this letter. The Brotherhood is dangerous. It endangers the further success of our trade agreement, which in turn endangers the king, the entirety of the realm, and your own life. Therefore, you should dispatch scouts to determine what gods and what knowledge the magic powers are derived from. Once you have discovered this, we will inform the priests of your findings, in the hopes of putting an end to the whole affair through combined efforts. At this very moment, the scholars are studying the ancient books. We will report our findings to you at once, using the usual means of communication. May Innos protect us all. Okay, so there is a just make sure this is sealed still. Yeah, it's okay. So there is a third camp in the colony called the Brotherhood, and the Brotherhood are kind of neutral. They do their own thing. They grow something that is kind of the same as weed, basically marijuana, and they trade that with the other camps for ore. But they are like a sect. They have their own god, which they found in a colony, and yeah, they basically so the king on the outside is concerned with what they're up to. Okay, so anyways, here is a meat bug. So let's kill it. You press space, and that's how you ready your weapons. In this case, it's our fists, and then you press forward to attack. Okay, so we killed it. There we go. Arrow. There's a few things just like laying around here that we can later on trade for some ore. We have a picklock, torch, arrows, coin. Coins are useless in this game. They don't really do anything. I think you can trade them with somebody in some camp somewhere, but I'm not sure. And we have beers, and beers don't really do anything either. They don't really heal you. They don't have any effects. You can just trade it with the merchants. So here are some more berries. I'm gonna collect all the berries I can at this time, because at the start of the game they are the main source of what do you call it? Of healing, because potions are a bit too strong, and you might want to save them for a bit later on in the game when you'll be chugging them one after another. And yeah, and you can also harvest meat from defeated creatures, but cooking that meat later on takes too much time. It's a bit annoying. So yeah, you wanna have lots of berries, etc. And also you collect herbs, which can heal you as well. And because there is no alchemy in this game, it means that you can just eat them for direct healing effects. Okay, so I've equipped my pickaxe. I'm gonna save the game, because you never know what's gonna happen, and we're gonna go and kill it. So at the start of the game, before you've actually learned to wield weapons effectively, it's much better to learn to swing sideways. So instead of pressing forward for attack, you press left and right. And if you time it right, you can actually link those attacks into a combo. And because you can't really fight any weapons at the moment, this is the only attack you can make with the main attack buttons. And they don't really link into a combo, and they're not as fluent as swiping left and right. So at the start of the game, this is the best option for combat. Here we have a broken rusty sword, a Reich Schnaps, which is a speciality of the new camp, but we'll get to that later. And okay, so this is it for this little platform here. With Ori, we spoke about the woman that was sent before us to the colony, and that's quite interesting in this game, because the way she's set up, like in a cutscene, you can see her being sent down, and then obviously you can talk to various people about her, etc., and like ask what she's doing and stuff. And like once you find her, there isn't that much going on. Like, she just tells you to go away, so the Ore Baron doesn't get angry and pissed off at you or her. And there isn't really much of a story related to her. But with the setup that you kind of have in a game, like an early game, you would think that once you find it, there's going to be something really cool happening, but it's just like, there's nothing there. So I don't know if this is something that Piranha Bytes had to bin during the development, or if that's something that is kind of just like, I don't know. I don't really know. So here we have a scavenger. It just fell down. Okay, let's have a bash. Okay. Down. So the starting enemies like juvenile scavengers and stuff, they're very easy because obviously they're here just to teach you how to fight. But if you don't really know how this game works, how the mechanics work, there's a big chance that they would actually be able to kill you. So you have to be careful. So here is another one. Let's take him down. Okay. Harvesting for meat. So raw meat, you can cook that meat, but for that you need a frying pan, and you cook each piece of meat separately, and each piece of meat takes about 2 or 3 seconds to cook, so it's more of a nuisance than anything to actually be using meat as a healing item, really. Okay, so a goblin, luckily he didn't give us any trouble. A healing potion and a club. So here is a couple of more rats. I'm gonna quick save again because there's 2 of them, so you don't really know what's gonna happen. It should be quite easy as well, but yeah, you just never really know. And second one. There you go. That's them gone. Very good. So, yeah, this, Piranha Bytes, with the first 2 games, they were actually praised for their level in the map design, because this little area here is obviously like a hidden area. Like, if you had, you had to climb up here to find it. But Piranha Bytes were actually praised at the start of their career for their level design, because instead of making massive open world games, they made smaller open world games. I mean, obviously back then there was, restrictions and that on how big you could make a game. But they really made sure that the maps are enjoyable to explore. Like, you would actually have a good time being in that world, because there would be, some secrets to find, some hidden caves, etc. Some like hidden weapons. Like, it really does reward exploration most of the time. Like, not most of the time. It does reward exploration some of the time, but most of the time, you would say find like a cave with a few goblins in it. You would kill the goblins, and there would be nothing really there that would be like, oh wow, that was really worth it. Here we have a hangman just hanging out. Oh yeah, also, if you press 0 next to your arrow keys, you can actually look around like this using the move keys. And this is something that a lot of people don't really know. They only find this out when they press 0 by accident next to the arrow keys. So yeah, that's a very useful mechanic, especially when you're climbing or climbing down, because then you can, if you're not using mouse like I am, you can obviously use mouse like, there you go. But if you're not using a mouse, then this is very helpful when you're climbing down, because so you can see the platforms below you, so you don't fall long distances. You don't fall long drops. Oh, there you go. Another juvenile scavenger. Come on, they're not really moving much. I remember them being harder in the past. I don't know if I'm being really lucky or if I just remember this game harder than it really is. So you can see there the walls of the old camp and some of the structures, like, there we go. Weirdly, if you look straight at it, the fog is going to cover it up, but if you look at it on the side, it's actually going to expose more to you. You could actually get rid of the limitation of your, depth of view with a DX11 mod, which applies lots of nice graphical effects and, it just makes the game look much, much better. But I find it that in Gothic 1, it breaks the game a lot. Like, I tried using it in the past, and I tried installing it for this series, but it just kept breaking my game. It's just not very stable. The game looks amazing, but it's just not stable at all. So I've decided to not use it, just to make sure that nothing goes wrong in the future for this series. Okay, so let's save the game here. We have a couple of hunters here.
Hey, you.
What do you want?
I want to warn you. If you continue this way, you'll be entering our hunting ground.
Uh-huh.
What do you hunt?
Mostly scavengers. There's a lot of meat on them. Besides, it ain't too hard to get them, once you know how.
Really? How's that?
Ask my friend Drax here. He knows more about these things than anyone.
Why is this area so dangerous?
You've just arrived, haven't you? There are different areas in this colony which are all more or less dangerous. The paths between the camps are quite safe, but even there you might come across some wolves which look on you as easy prey. And that's exactly what you are until you get a proper weapon and armor.
Where can I get better equipment?
The nearest place is that old camp. Just follow the path that brought you here. But you can get the stuff cheaper in our new camp, provided you know the right people. If you go to the old camp, ask for Mordrag. He's one of us. For just a little ore, he'll sell you the proper goods.
Tell me more about the areas of the colony.
If you travel between the camps, you'll need a map to distinguish paths and dead ends. Dead ends often lead you to dangerous canyons where you encounter creatures you'd better avoid. Do not enter the old ruins. There are too many around here, and most of them are old fortifications dating back to the time of the First Orc War. Some are abandoned orc dwellings. There are often orcs in those ruins, or even worse creatures. I'd avoid those places, especially at night. And one more hint, don't go into the forest.
Where do I get a map?
Ask the people in the old camp. There's a cartographer living there. Maybe you can steal one of his maps. If you manage to do it, take one from me as well.
Yeah, so you have the option to either buy stuff from various merchants or just rob them during the night or whatever, which is, that sort of role-playing freedom that this game provides for you. It's not like a massive thing. You don't get like massive freedoms really, but you get enough to actually make you immersed in the world. You have decisions to make.
Why? Doesn't he sell the maps?
If you get enough ore to pay for them.
Thanks for your help.
Don't go thinking everyone's gonna be so friendly, kid. There may not be much in a newcomer's pockets, but some folks would even beat you up for a pickaxe.
I'll keep it in mind.
Okay, let's talk to his friend Drax, who is a bit more interesting, actually. We'll go into that detail
You're
in a
hunting,
moment.
aren't you?
Looks like it. What do you want?
Do you have some hints for the hunt?
I could teach you a few things, but everything has its price.
Which would be how much?
A good gulp of beer will do to start with. Then we'll see.
So this is the beer that I was picking up. I said that it's gonna be come in handy in a moment.
Here you are. Take a beer and tell me about hunting.
Scavengers. That's what we call the big birds. Should be attacked one after the other. It's easy to lure single scavengers from the pack. If you come too close, they'll become irritated. After a while, they'll storm in your direction. At this point, you should be waiting for them with a raised weapon. If you manage to strike the beast before it hits you, you have to keep fighting. Then you'll be able to defeat the creature without being hurt yourself. If it hits you first, well, just don't let him.
Okay, so he just gave us a hint on how to deal with the monsters that will stand in our way between this area and the old camp. It's just like a little tip, you know, just to make sure that you actually know what to do whenever these creatures will attack you, which is quite cool.
What else can you tell me about hunting?
A lot, but it'll cost you more than a beer if you know how. You can take the creature's teeth, claws, and skin. It's hard to get them, but they are valuable. At least every merchant will trade those things with you.
Okay, so as you can see here, there's a list of things that we can learn from Drax. Drax is the first trainer that you meet in the game, which means that once you have enough skill points, you can actually spend them with Drax, so he teaches you some skills. So how skill points work is, when you level up, you get 10 skill points, and then you can spend them on either boosting your attributes such as strength, dexterity, or mana, or you can spend them on skills such as those, like hunting or better swordsmanship or archery. But also on top of that, you have to pay ore for each lesson. This kind of character development formula is something that a lot of people don't really like, because they believe that you should be able to decide exactly when you want to develop your character, sort of like you do in Diablo, where you level up and you can spend your points straight away. But I really like this way of doing things because it kind of forces you to develop meaningful relationships with the NPCs. So like, for example, if Drax wasn't a trainer, we could just talk to him once and then we could go and not talk to him ever again for the rest of the game. But because now we know that he's a trainer, we have a reason to keep coming back to him, to talk to him. And every time you learn a new skill with a trainer, there's actually a little dialogue going on, like where he explains to you the skill. So like for removing fur, he's gonna tell you to, you know, oh yeah, cut the belly and then like pull the fur off the carcass. So it provides you with those meaningful conversations and relationships with the NPCs, which is very effective in building that sort of immersion in the world. Okay, so now that we know how to deal with these monsters, we can give it a shot. But I have to do it from an angle which is going to be far away from Drax and his friend, because if they notice those scavengers, then they're going to attack the scavengers and therefore steal my kills, which is not ideal. So let's just lure them one by one. Oh no, they're shooting. There we go, one of them is down. They've killed 2, but I've still got 1 left. Alright, so there's 40 points of experience for me. Okay, so I have 400 experience points and I need 500 to level up. Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna harvest those meats from those scavengers, so that when I get to the old camp, I have something to trade with. Because you're gonna need a lot of ore at the start, sort of like develop your character so that you actually have a chance in the world. And there isn't really, it's not really easy to get lots of ore at the start. Later on in the game, you just have too much, but at the start it's a bit of an issue. Fuck, you got a hit. Alas, I was victorious. Okay, so that's 1 down. Second one. Come on. Another thing worth noting in this game is when monsters see you, they won't attack you straight away. They'll warn you first, like trying to scare you off the area, and then when you haven't listened to the warnings, they'll come after you. Sort of like real monsters, like real animals would do in natural habitats. So I took some damage, 36 points out of 52. So I do need to heal a little bit. Let's use that, which healed us for 14 points, and I should be, yeah, 2 points short of my total number of health points, which is good enough. Okay, let's get you to come down. Whenever they charge, I need to move back a bit so that the other monster isn't going to be alerted by the combat. Because if they were, they would all come... What happened? They would all come at me at the same time, which wouldn't be ideal at all. Okay, I believe I took some damage. Come on. Loot him. 10 points. I need to heal myself for 10 points. So, blueberry. There we go. And that's full health. Right, so I've leveled up. I should have 10 skill points. And I do. Okay, cool. Quick save. And let's proceed further to the old camp, which is just down this road here. I'm not gonna go towards in this area because that's where like the sort of more dangerous monsters live, and I really don't want to deal with them at the moment because I'm just too weak. However, I will have a go at these scavengers here because they are easy XP. Okay. There is a couple more there, but I'm not gonna fight with those because these guys will get involved straight away. And these guys are the first line of defense of the old camp, just guarding a bridge to the main entrance-ish, kind of. And this is the main gate to the old camp. There's some mole rats in that cave to the right. I'm gonna leave it for now. And let's just go straight ahead to the camp. Pick up some stuff on the way as well. So we might trade it in the camp. There we go. Okay, so before I talk to either of those people, I will quick save again. Because there's something funny that happens.
Where do you think you're going?
To the camp.
You ain't come to make trouble, have you?
Sure. I plan to take on the whole camp.
Hey, this guy's funny. I don't like funny guys.
So, yeah, he's gonna kick the shit out of you for being a smart ass. And then, he might potentially rob you and take your weapon. But anyways, I'm gonna reload the game because I don't want to have to heal myself. So instead, we're gonna just talk to him politely.
Where do you think you're going?
To the camp.
You ain't come to make trouble, have you?
Diego says I'm to meet him in the camp.
Okay, in you go then.
There we go.
Any news?
Nah, everything's the same as ever.
See, he's just a normal bloke doing his job who has a short temper. And to be fair, because I'm not in any guild or any camp yet, like I'm not an associate of anyone. If anyone kills me, no one's gonna mourn me. No one gives a shit about me. So yeah, they could kill me. Notice how he hasn't killed me though. He only knocked me out. But if it was like an actual duel caused by me being a dickhead, like I don't know, attacking somebody or stealing somebody's stuff, they would actually do the finishing move, which would actually kill me. So yeah, it's a quite cool way of doing things where you can lose a fight but not get killed. So this is Forrest, the guy that Diego told us to talk to.
I want to work for Gomez.
Oh yeah? And what makes you think Gomez will be interested in having you work for him?
I am resourceful, I have a good CV.
Diego says you decide who Gomez is interested in.
Huh? If Diego thinks you're okay, why doesn't he take care of you? Look, let me explain. Diego's gonna test you. If he thinks you're good enough, I'll let you into the castle to see Gomez. Whatever happens after that is up to you, okay?
I'll talk to Diego. Why don't you give me the test?
It ain't that easy, kid. Any newcomer who wants to get anywhere needs a patron. That patron has to be one of Gomez's people. He'll test you. And if you fail, you're his responsibility. That's the law around here.
Okay.
There must be something you want done.
No. The things we guards deal with are a bit above you, kid. You just stick to the tasks your patron sets for you.
I'm quite capable of doing anything you tell me to.
Oh, so you're intent on failing, eh? There is one thing that only someone who's not with Gomez can see to. But I'm warning you, you blow this and you'll be in mighty big trouble.
I'm ready for your task.
What I'm about to tell you is between you and me, and nobody else must ever hear about it. Understood?
Sure.
We have a problem with a guy from the new camp. His name's Mordrag. He's been stealing from the ore barons. Of course, that applies to a lot of the rogues in the new camp. But this guy has the nerve to come to our camp and sell our stolen goods to our boys. He's gone too far. But he knows I can't do anything about it.
Why?
Because he's under the protection of the mages.
Okay.
Where can I find Mordrag?
You'll find him at the south gate on the other side of the castle, just beyond the entrance. The bastard wouldn't dare come any further into the camp.
Why do the mages protect that Mordrag?
Because they use him as a gopher. Our local mages are in contact with the mages over in the new camp. They often send gophers back and forth. They're likely to become very unpleasant if I throw one of their gophers out of the camp or have him killed.
What about me? What do you think the mages will do to me?
You're new here. You'll be okay. But I'm responsible for what my boys do. That's why it's vital that you keep your mouth shut.
I'm not listening to all the blathering anymore.
Do you want me to kill the guy?
I want you to make sure I never see his face around here again. I don't care how you do it.
Okay then.
I'll take care of it.
Uh-huh. So we have spoken to Forrest, and now we are meant to be talking back at Diego to see what we can do to actually join the camp. So let's do that.
I've talked to Thoris.
And what did he say?
He says that I can join the old camp if you think that I'm good enough.
Looks like I have myself a new job.
Do we start right now?
First, there are a few things you should know.
Okay, so there we go.
What do I have to know to be accepted in the old camp?
If you want to join the camp, you'll have to earn some brownie points. There are a few influential people in the outer ring. Most of them are shadows. If you manage to impress them, it'll earn you a few brownie points. Then you'll have to stand the test of faith. Besides, there are a lot of skills every new arrival has to learn. The more you learn, the more valuable you'll be for us.
Uh-huh. So...
where do I find the important people?
Well, you're looking at one of them. Then there's Thoris. You already know him. As for the others, you'll have to find that out by yourself. If you don't manage to do that, you don't belong here anyway. Just go through the outer ring and talk to people. Then you'll find out who's important.
that's quite cool. Like, you don't get quest marks on anything, although you don't really get told who you need to talk to join the camp. You actually have to go spend your time with the people in the camp, get to know them, and learn who is important, like who's got tasks for you.
Who can teach me?
Start with Fingers. He's the most skillful among us. If you keep your eyes peeled, you'll find other people who can teach you.
Where can I find Fingers?
His hut's kind of hidden. It's next to the castle wall. Just start out here and go towards the arena. When you're at the castle gate, go down to the left, and you'll be heading for the arena.
So we got like a little hint on how to find one of these people, but not much other than that. Like, it's up to us to use that knowledge and to pin down the guy in question. So, what is the test of faith?
What's the test of faith?
You have to go to the old mine. There you'll meet a guy called Ian. He'll give you a list. This list is important. It contains all the items the guys in the mine need from us. They'll get the stuff with the next convoy.
No problem.
Yes, there is a problem. The new camp must not get that list. Like I said, the list is important. If you do it right, you'll get much further.
Okay, so...
if the list is so important, why should Ian give it to me?
Because you're going to tell him Diego sent you.
I'll tell him.
I'm gonna end it here, guys, so if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more coming next weekend, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.